Good afternoon, folks. This is Fred Campos, owner of DFW Website Designers. It is July 1st, 2021, episode number 326 of your 3 business tips at 3 o'clock in and around 3 minutes. Today is the first day of Q3, business owners, solopreneurs, and we're going to talk about consulting, but basically mentors for you. I'm titling it, What Would Jesus Do? WWJD. We're going to talk about Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, and Walt Disney. In the 1990s, in the Christian community, there was a book by Charles Sheldon called In His Steps. Even though it was written in the 1800s, it became very popular in the late 1990s. And basically, the premise of the book was determining from a Christian perspective, what would Jesus do? The idea was to use and channel the mentorship of Jesus as a barometer, a ruler for making wise decisions. And business owners, why am I telling you this today? Because you should be involved in some sort of mentoring program, but what if you don't have a mentor and you're having to make hard decisions in your organization, in your small business, in your solopreneur, in your medium-sized business? Don't you wish that you could sit down with maybe a Steve Jobs or a Warren Buffett, or if you're on the creative side, maybe a Walt Disney? Well, today we're going to talk about them. Business tip number 1. You don't actually have to talk to Buffett in order to learn or get ideas of how he picks stocks and runs his business. There's a wonderful thing called nonfiction books. You can read about the life and study of Abraham Lincoln, or maybe Albert Einstein, or in this case, Buffett. Great books. And then what you can do is you can think about the decision you're making through the filter of what would Buffett do, right? We'll just capitalize on the Christian idea of what would Jesus do, but what would Buffett do? Let's say you're running a small business. Business tip number 2, maybe you'd want to know what Steve Jobs would do. Well, there is a great autobiography about him, and there's books that you could read. Think of your business through the filter of Steve Jobs. Or business tip number 3, through the filter of a Walt Disney, if you're talking about creativity. Now, I'm not suggesting, business owners, that you do everything that you live and die by Buffett or Jobs or Disney. But what I am suggesting is, can you take, and do you know business people that you know personally, and or famous people that you've read a lot about, that you could create a filter of some of the issues that you deal with in your small business and say, hey, how would Warren Buffett handle this? How would Steve Jobs handle this? How would Walt Disney handle this? And sometimes just having the pause moment to think about that and think it through the lens of a Walt Disney if you're trying to be creative, or Steve Jobs if you're trying to innovate, or Buffett if you're trying to come up with a financial plan or schedule or some sort of pattern, can sometimes be the last little piece you need in order to figure something out. Again, I'm just throwing around ideas. Any ideas that I do, that I use, that I study, I throw over the fence to you, because as always, I want you guys to be awesome.